Hi, folks, and welcome to Prep with a Pro Week 7. Yikes. That means there's only 14 weeks to go. I can't believe it's week 7 already. Anyway, I didn't do week 6 because, as you know, I had a conference in South Africa. So I've posted some videos on how I managed the buffet because the food was absolutely amazing. Um, so the question was, how did I pull up after that week away? Because I had no access to a gym either. So I guess my goal was to come back at least at the same as I was when I went, so to not have put on any weight if possible. And although I was probably about 80% clean, we had a welcome dinner, and I did have a glass of champagne there, and I probably had a little bit more than I should have done. And every day I did have a little treat, and I did have a refeed meal, and then there was the end of conference graduation dinner where I had probably had, well, I don't know how many glasses of champagne I had there because I won the whole conference. So yeah, I kind of let that one go a little bit. So I was a little bit concerned when I got back how I would pull up, and I arrived back on Monday at 1:30 in the morning, and then I was up at after. Sorry, I think I probably had about 4 or 5 hours sleep in the previous 24 hours, or however long I was travelling, because I was up at 6. I was up at 4 a.m. Saturday South Africa time, and I got to bed 1:30 a.m. Monday Melbourne time. So, and I probably had about 4 hours sleep in that whole time. So I was absolutely shattered. Then I got up at 5:30 to go to the gym. So first thing I did is I got on the scales, and you can see here I was 61 kilos, and I was like, oh God, I've put on 2 kilos. Help! What have I done? Um, but then what I did on Monday, and I'll cover that when we get to diet, is by Tuesday you can see that I pulled it back, and I was um, exactly the same weight I was when I left. So, phew, big sigh of relief all round. So that extra sort of kilo and a bit is all sort of, I guess, stress, inflammation, flying, being out of whack, and everything like that. So I was really glad to see it come straight back down. And then Wednesday I dropped a little bit more, and actually on Wednesday I did pull forward my refeed meal again, because Thursday, of course, is legs day. And although it's a little bit fuzzy, you can see after the refeed I dropped. Now this is starting to get interesting. Um, Friday I dropped again, and Saturday I dropped again. So I'm really, really pleased that not only did I survive the conference in a reasonable state, but I've actually pulled up really well and continued. So I'm very happy with this week. Um, I, I will go through where I needed to be, but I'm actually not doing too bad. So we'll just go through the calories, and you can see that my average is very, very low there, or way down on what it has been. And again, I'll explain that in the next slide. But you can see I'm now getting my protein up well above 50%, and my carbs edging down towards the 10% overall, despite my refeed meal. So I'm, again, really happy with that. The fat's probably still a little bit high, so we've got room to move on there. But here we go. Now, what on earth is going on here? Well, the Monday, you can see there, I actually did an intermittent fast, um, just to pull it back as quickly as possible and reset as quickly as possible, and just to sort of, I guess, flush out the whole of the previous week. I did an intermittent fast. So that's why the calories on Monday are so low. The rest of the week was relatively good, relatively consistent. And then today you can see I'm actually, this is something I'm going to implement now. I'm actually doing my Ayurvedic detox day, which is actually a high carb day. But I'll explain a little bit more about what I'm doing now when we get to the magic spreadsheet. So there's the macros. You can see very much stacked towards the protein again. So how am I looking? Well, from week 4, I don't know why I didn't do any photos on week 5. Anyway, but I didn't. But you can see the difference between week 4 and week 7. I'm just kind of looking smaller. particularly on the side. If you look at the side pose, you can see that I'm starting to get some obliques happening, and my lats are coming through. And where's the cursor? So you've got sort of obliques. Sorry, excuse me, obliques and lats happening. But what I'm really pleased at is you can see the fat is starting to come off my hammies and glutes. There's not much. You see, that's a bit blurry there, but now we've got a very definite distinction between my glutes and hams. So I'm really pleased that the fat just seems to be coming off. And you can just see that, where's my cursor gone? There it is. You can just see my legs are just not as thick. So it looks like the weight's coming off. So all those sleds and sprints are working a treat. I don't seem to have so much definition in my back. This is a bit weird, but again, I'm just smaller. You can see the width of my hips here. I'm just smaller everywhere. And again, I'm starting to get some nice definition coming between my glutes and hams. So it looks like it's coming off my legs. And again, look, I've got this nice sort of obliques happening there too. So we're starting to look quite good. I don't seem to have so much definition up top at the moment, but I'm really pleased with how my lower body is progressing. Okay, so let's go to the spreadsheet. Now, what am I going to do with my diet? Well, I'm actually going to make sure that I'm in a full 10% deficit this week. You can see the yellow line. You can see the yellow line here. So that's where I'm aiming for this week. I'm going to keep the same split. And this is the important bit. So having pulled up at got back at 59.9, that was probably about 0.4 above, and I did hit, although my average is quite high, that's because of the big number on Monday. My average for the week is still quite high and looks quite bad, but because I did hit 59.2, I'm actually really happy. Potentially, I'm only about 100 to 200 grams off where I should be. So this is really good news. I'm very, very happy with that. So what am I doing with my food? Well, I thought I'd go through my diet in a bit more. And basically what I have is I've listed out here my base diet. So this here, chicken or beef, chicken or tuna with a big mixed salad, hummus and balsamic vinegar. Same for lunch, but with the addition of 10 almonds. Then just chicken or tuna for my afternoon snack, and then my green soup for dinner. Now, this is my base diet, okay? And it's a 64 protein, 27 fat, 9% carbs. So you see it's very stacked towards the protein. But what I'm going to start doing is macro cycling. So what do I mean by that? Well, I'm going to have 2 even higher protein days, and this is my even higher protein days, where basically I will, from this base diet, I will increase the protein by a third on the day. So this is actually quite, whatever the calories this is, to make it the high protein day, I'll add about another 200 calories from the base diet, but it will just be from protein. Then I've got a high fat day. So again, it'll be about 200 calories higher than my base diet, but it's very heavily stacked towards fat. So what I'll do is I'll just add in almonds at breakfast. I'll switch out the tuna and chicken for salmon. Too fast. I'll increase my almonds at lunch. I'll have boiled eggs at my afternoon snack, and I won't change my dinner. But then you can see it shifts the macros to 50 protein, 43% fat, 8% carbs. My high protein day, it's not much different from my base diet, but it will be about 200 calories more. Oops, I haven't done the breakdown for my high carb day. But my high carb day, I'm going to stick to my Ayurvedic detox meals. Now, because it seems to be that I actually seem to be responding quite well to the refeed, and I seem to be dropping after the refeed. So it's looking like I'm actually responding quite well to carbs at the moment, which it's been a bit of a surprise, actually, to be quite honest. So this is why I'm going to actually this is why I'm going to do this macro cycling, because I really want to sort of get a sense of how my body is changing. And this is the thing with comp prep. no comp prep is the same. You always have to listen to your body and learn what it's doing. And I seem to be in a much different place to where I have been on previous preps. Yes, the high protein is working, but I do seem to be responding quite well to carbs. So, out of curiosity's sake, I'm actually going to switch it up for the next couple of weeks and do this macro cycling with a high carb day. So I'll have my refeed day, which will be high carb, and then I'll have an actual high carb day just once a week. And this is where I'll have this khichdi, which is rice. Basically, it's a rice and lentil based dish with lots of vegetables in it. So I'm going to see how that goes. Oh, sorry, I don't have the breakdown for that. I'm going to see how that goes. And it'll be interesting to see what happens. So that's this week's roundup. And I'm just going to keep working it. Obviously, keep working hard. Oh, sorry. The other thing I am going to do is I've been doing on my training. I've been doing 4 resistance sessions and 1 HIIT. I'm actually going to add an extra HIIT session in as well. So I'm going to take the training up to 6 days a week because I really need to smash the next couple of weeks and get some. I don't have any room to move at the moment, and I really want to get ahead of the game. So the next 3-4 weeks, I'm going to absolutely smash it and see what happens. So that's the plan for this week. Okay.